Are you afraid of things that go bump in the night? The specters haunting your nights and even following you in the day? Join me as we summon up some specters of our own. Hello, hello, and welcome. Alive in the Fire by Beth Hildenbrand. And in that, there is a poem, Legacy. In life, we will always have days, both light and dark. What really matters in the end is how we leave our mark. So I celebrate Beth Hildenbrand this morning. And we're going to be doing a ghost swipe and also a flip cup pour to bring those two together and complement each other. And I'm hoping it works out, and she loves them. And I'm looking forward to doing this one. So we'll see if it works out. Beth has been called the Queen of Nightmares. She writes occult horror. She's penned such titles as Cain the Heretic Son, Heretic Faith, Death Rites. Many, myself included, consider them occult masterpieces, and her pen doesn't end there. Her poetry is equally well done. But I want to focus on Death Rites and The Path of Temptation, A Taste of Scarlet, and Alive in the Fire, where I read Legacy from. Here, we're going to explore and unearth those ghostly figures, apparitions. They may or may not appear and make themselves known or not, and we'll see. So what I want to do is, using a 20 by 20 canvas, I've prepped it with the tape underneath. I've leveled it with my leveler. And let me take you through what I'm going to be using this morning. 24 karat gold, and again, all of my paints have been mixed with flutrol and water to that warm honey consistency. I'm using a Liquitex Red. I'm going to include Black Orange, which I mixed together to create this different shade of brown. I'm hoping that once it hits the other colors, it doesn't muddy them, but we'll see how it works out. I'm also going to include Deco Art Pearl Metallic, and I did add flutrol and water to this one as well. For the swipe, I'm using paper towels, which I will spray with water, and hopefully you'll see how that works out, and we will unearth some specters, as in Where the Tombstones Grow, Beth Hildenbrand's latest. Here, I love doing flip cups. I'm going to try this one out again to complement the ghost swipe that I plan on doing. And what I've done is I've just used silicone drops and just wiped it lightly inside of my cup to hopefully create some additional cell structure when I do flip. I am using the red, and I did include a couple of drops in silicone in here as well, just to kick it up a little bit. The 24 karat gold, exactly like I'm doing in the ghost swipe. Jet black for the outer as well as a little bit inside of the composition, and some titanium white. So let's get to painting. So what I want to do is actually start farther away from me and draw it in, because it's just easier for me to swipe that way. So just shush it up a little bit. Hopefully everyone is doing well this morning. It's a real beautiful sunny day once again. Right, so I'm going to lay down the red. As we try to get an equal line this morning. Doesn't necessarily have to be, but I want to make sure there's enough paint on the canvas so when I do go into swipe, those colors will come through where I want them to. let's see. Let's do the gold. So in the where the tombstones grow by Beth Hildenbrand, the title alone should give you, or at least pique your interest a little bit. Mountains, trails to explore. It's an ancestral home that holds many secrets. Built in the 19th century, and it's our backdrop. Graveyard, right outside. And what are the villagers all worried about? What's going on in this small hamlet? I'm gonna go in with the brown. There are a few guests, a woman with some mystical allure, and of course the ghost. What could possibly go wrong? What is the connection between Abby, our protagonist, the guests, the villagers, and of course the graveyard? Unravel the mysteries along with us and unfold those family secrets, just as we're going to try to unravel them in our ghost swipe, but also in the flip cup, because when we layer out our colors in the cup and then flip it onto the canvas, I'm always quite amazed at the magic that happens. So I'm hoping to get that here as well. I actually think I don't want that brown to get lost. So I want to break it up with some more gold, just a little bit this time. Bring in some white. I had pre-mixed these last night, so they had time to do their magic, better incorporate that flutrol with the water. And I find that actually that works much, much better than if I mix them right before I'm pouring. The settling down, or that wait period, I think works out much better. I want to bring in the brown again, so that it doesn't, bringing in some brown just to break it up a little bit. I'm trying to keep the integrity of each of the colors, and that's why I'm breaking it up this way. I'm trying to cut my video time down, because I know a lot of people are like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to sit here for 40 minutes watching this lady chatter away. Let me just get to the painting part, or listen to her book recommendations, or what she's suggesting today. And today is Beth Hildenbrand. Path of Temptations, A Taste of Scarlet, the poem I read from Alive in the Fire. Very profound, and some of it is light and quite engaging, thought-provoking, inspiring. Some is disturbing, but again, I highly recommend that you grab your copies. Oh, got black where I didn't want it to go. We'll see what happens there. And again, I forgot to put my gloves on. I think I may need to do that. I'm gonna put some of that black to break it. I think I'm gonna, maybe too much gold. Let's go in with some red. So let's see if we can speed this up a little bit. But with art, just like any art form, it's not a quick process over time. I find that with writing also. I see the black is already doing some magical stuff. I'm hoping this doesn't turn to pink when I swipe, but we'll see what happens. That does happen quite often, more often than I'd like it to. I want to go in with the brown once again. You're saying, it's kind of bizarre, these colors. Yes, bizarre things can be quite entertaining. And since we are doing a ghost swipe, trying to find out what's going on and unearth those things that do go bump in the night. Love a good mystery. Murder, paranormal, suspense. The occult horror queen, Beth Hildenbrand. Love good horror stories or things that are psychologically bent, challenging. Love Edgar Allan Poe. He's my go-to, along with Shakespeare. Love my Edgar Allan Poe. And who doesn't know, once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary, suddenly there came a tapping as if someone gently rapping at my chamber door. 'Tis the wind and nothing more. And you know the rest. Or if you don't, I'm sure you can Google it, check it out. He was a master at twisting reality. Exploring the psyche through his tales is just incredible. He was the father of the detective novels. A lot of people kind of say, oh no, well, Sherlock Holmes was actually based upon a lot of Poe's writings. And who hasn't read The Telltale Heart, Black Cat, Fall of the House of Usher, Cask of Amontillado, and of course his poems, Lenore, The Raven, which I recited a couple of seconds ago. Wipe My Hands. His In Search of El Dorado, Gaily Be Gallant Night, Sunshine and Shadows, Ride Hard, Ride Long, Valiant Night, In Search of El Dorado, or something like that. I read them time and again. And just like Beth Hildenbrand's offerings, I do go back and read her poetry, Alive in the Fire, Temptation, or The Path of Temptation, Taste of Scarlet. Very well done. Well done for this world acclaimed authoress and poetess. Alright, I am going to put my gloves on for this swipe, and they're not cooperating this morning with me, and I need them to. Could be they're a little moist from my towelettes, but it's okay. Here we go. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, if I can find it, that's what I did. Alright, I mistakenly placed my swiping black in here rather than go over there and get the master's black. Oh my goodness, sometimes I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. I'm putting that swipe color down here, and let's see if we can unearth those ghosts in this swipe. I will be stretching it out just a little bit, or a lot, depending on where it goes. All right, so what I want to do now is actually spray a paper towel with some water for the swipe. Shake off a little excess, lay it down as best I can. And I'm gonna make sure it's all there, looks like, and I wanna bring it through. I wanna try to go slowly. My hands aren't as steady as I'd like them to be, but it happens. All right, so this is going to generate, and then we're going to torch it when I'm done on this side. sure I have enough. Yeah, I think I can do this way. Again, I'm going to spray it with some water. Actually, we need a little more. Lay this down once again. Make sure it's all touching. And I'm going to slowly swipe toward me. Slowly. Have a chance for those cells to percolate. Come to the surface and surprise us. I missed a spot over here, so let's see if I can salvage this by swiping a little bit. I don't want it to be too big, and I fear it may be, but maybe once I tilt, it'll be okay. We'll see though. I just get this piece here where the towel didn't do a happy dance with my canvas. Totally my fault. Oh, here we go. Oh, actually that works out much better. You know what? We're going to go through this again because it looks like I may not have touched down on that canvas as much as I had wanted to, or perhaps it's because there was much more paint on the canvas than I thought. So I'm going to bring this down again, have it touch, and bring through and see what happens. I'm liking that predominant black that's going on here. So I think what I want to do is torch it and see if we can bring out some spectral images via cells. This does bring up some of the cells and eliminate some of those air bubbles that we do not want in our finished piece. I think I want to stretch it a little bit. I'm going to bring it toward you, or angle it toward you. I will go back and touch up the edges later. No, there's not enough paint there on that corner, or in those corners. I'll try to go straight down. I should bring it back some. That gold is really popping through. I think I need more black on that corner. And here we go. Let me just stretch it just a tad, get some of that black off. We have on Earth some spectral images. There they are. Surprising. Has a beautiful eerie effect to it. Beautifully eerie, like Beth Hildenbrand's work. And there we are. I think I don't want to stretch it anymore. I'm going to let it sit for a little bit and come back to it and touch up those edges. Let the paint drip off some a little bit more. Just kind of go around it just a little bit so that, and I'm not going to go into the underside right now, which you would want to do to stop the stop the paint from dripping off and change the composition that you might be trying for. So I'm going to leave it for now. And I want to visit the flip cup. Take these gloves off, get my others ready. Move this to the side for later. I think we're okay. And of course, get more wind. Here we are. All right. So, as I've said, I've just dabbed, wiped a little bit, 2-3 drops of the silicone on here with a towel, wiped it off just to see if we get some more of the cells in the flip cup. I should have actually done this earlier before we did the ghost swipe. It would have given more time for that paint to interplay, and we wouldn't have had to wait as long, but hopefully it works out. I'm going in with some gold. I put it to the side so that the paint has an anchor, because in this type of pour, I don't want it to cover whatever had preceded it. I like it to have separation. I'm gonna go in with my white. I want to separate it with the gold, because if I go in with the red now, it will more than likely turn pink, and I'm not going for pink today. And that's splattered. A little heavy on that red. Why not? I'm gonna go in with some black, again to break it up. I'm gonna add a little gold. That 24 karat gold by Deco Art, mixed with some flutrol. Just a touch of water. Metallics do not need as much water as the other paints. I'm going to go in again with the black to break it up with the red. Trying to get a full cup. Trying to go as quickly as I can to cut down my time on the videos. Let's see how that goes. Going in with the gold. Gonna go in with the white. I'm gonna go in with the gold again to break it up from the pink, from the red. Gonna go in with my black. Go in with my 24 karat gold. Touch more white. Again, anchoring it to the side of the cup. And a touch of gold once again. That last color that I place at the top will be the first color that you will see, or that will come out of the cup. Checking it out, the composition. I have just a little bit too much black in there, but that's okay. I think it'll pair off really well with our swipe over there, our ghostly swipe that we have, or that we did based upon Beth Hildenbrand's Where the Tombstones Grow. Do pick it up. All right, black, and to add more of the gold. And I'm going to tap it off, or top it off, with a little tiny bit of black, and just a little bit more red that I'm going to actually cover the paint with. All right, let me just put this here for you. Actually, let me flip. I'm doing a flip cup, so I want to try to center it as best I can, center of my canvas, and hope my hands cooperate as I turn the canvas over. And we're going to just wait a couple of seconds. We should wait longer than that, but since I'm trying to keep my time down, we're going to speed things along a little bit. Just clean this up. Just rearranging things so that I don't get paint on more things than I wanted or where I don't want it. Wipe off my hands real quick. So it's doing some magical, mystical things here. Has an allure, but I definitely do need to go back and touch some of it. Here, for example, when I swiped, I went down too hard. My wet towel did, and so some of the paint has disappeared or has gone, and so what I'm left with is almost a bare canvas, and I do not want that. So I can just do that, and it'll be fine because we may be tilting it again later. I'll probably step back and revisit it, and we'll see what happens. I want to torch it. I do see some bubbles, and I'm sure the camera will pick up a few more, which I will address later. As it's drying, those bubbles, along with perhaps some more cells, will start to form. So I'm going to try to catch them before it actually dries, because it takes away from the composition if I do not do that. And typically in a swipe, you're going to see a lot of cell activity going on. And there are areas where it's just predominantly black. I did not tilt it all the way, and I actually prefer it that way. I want it to have a greater depth to this mysterious piece. All right, I'm going to stop, step back, and look at it in a bit. I'll do that with you. All right, so we have this here that's been doing its magic. I'm going to put my gloves on, and we're going to see what we can uncover in this magical, mystical, paranormal, the unknown experience. A little dramatic this morning? Yes. Oh, it's great. The paint I see has already drifted down the cup. So I'm going to just put some bubbles in. All right. Oh, I don't want it to move. All right. Let's see what's going on. Are you seeing this? I don't know if the camera will catch it, but it does have pops of that gold. The red, there's some lacing going on, great boulder activity. Let me pop some of those bubbles before we stretch. Oh, it definitely has some more spectral images popping through. Love it. I'm not going, I didn't deconstruct it or drag my cup to create a different sort of feel to it. I chose just to lift and let that magic happen. So I want to just go around so that that will flow. Try not to get carried away with the paint, but I do want to have enough on there so that my my composition will go where I want it to go. All right, so we're going to I'm going to tilt. Let's see the weight of my paint. Oh, it's pretty much centered. Good job leveling this morning. Bring it back. Oh, I'm loving that corner piece. It's just beautiful. Definitely, apparitions are appearing, people. Oh, they're magnificent too. Can you see this? What's going on here? just bringing it toward you, and I don't have a great view of what's happening when I do that, but I really wanted you to see. This is quite pretty. Has the effect I wanted to have. Reminds me of the covers, like Alive in the Fire by Beth Hildenbrand. Those colors. I want to pop it, but before I take my gloves off and move on and pop the bubbles, I want to step back and just look at it to see if I want to tilt it in any other directions. I actually don't. Sort of has an Edward Munch feel to it in Scream. I don't know if you know that image. Quite disturbing, but really enticing and intriguing at the same time. All right, I want to go in and pop some bubbles. Quite a few in this one, and it happens with the flip cup because of that vacuum that's created, and then when it's released, that air, I'm not scientific, but I'm guessing and sharing with you, gets in there and that forms those bubbles. All right, I want to torch this one more time over here to our ghostly swipe that is revealing some additional specter-like figures to it. Composition turned out really well. I do not think I'm going to tilt it anymore. It has a graveyard feel to it for me. And this again reminds me of Alive in the Fire by Beth Hildenbrand, our occult horror queen legacy. In life, we will always have days, both light and dark. What really matters in the end is how we leave our mark. Legacy, Alive in the Fire by Beth Hildenbrand. Let me take you in for a close-up. I'm going this way. I'm going to show you the first. I know it looks orange, and that's because of the light, the reflection through my doors. And just take you in for a close-up of some of those spectral effects. In this corner is really, it's red and gold. It is not orange. So I'm glad that the black did not turn it into a Halloween-esque, if that's a word, work. All right, down here, wispy effects. It's almost like a cave structure, and it has some depth, so it's like you're walking into who knows what. Here again, lacing. And there is that spectral figure looking out at you, or me. An eeriness to it. It's actually quite pretty. And there is what I was talking about with a reminder of Edward Munch's piece, The Scream. I want to take you over to our flip cup. Aerial view. Bring you in. Lacing, boulders, cells. Let's see if we can catch any figures, specters. Is Abby lying somewhere in the shadows? And what does she have to say to her ghostly visitor? What do you have to say? Whatever it is, people, always remember, be kind to one another. May life treat you well, and may you enjoy the rest of your day or evening. See you later.